Ron Pitts, Jim Moore, live from Paul Brown Stadium here in Cincinnati, Ohio. We are moments away from kickoff. Well, the Bengals have gone through some issues here off the field this week, particularly involving wide receiver Jerome Simpson. For more on that, let's go down to the third member of our crew, Jennifer Hale. Hello, Jennifer.
Well, hello, Ronnie. You're right. A lot of folks surprised to see Jerome Simpson here on the sidelines preparing to play today. Tuesday, investigators tracked a 2.5-pound package of marijuana to his home. A female signed for that package. Investigators then went through the house and discovered 6 more pounds of marijuana, packaging and scales. Now, no arrests, no charges in this case as of yet, and the Bengals say if the situation's unresolved, it's inappropriate for them to presume anything. The Department of Justice says they're just sorting through who should bring charges, local or federal authorities, since this is a controlled substance that crossed state lines through the U.S. Mail Service. Coach, I'm curious, would you have played Jerome Simpson today?
Well, I think it's a very difficult decision for Marvin Lewis, but I don't think we know all the facts, and he does. He's been around the investigators this week. He's talked to the law enforcement. He understands the psyche of his team. You said it. There haven't been any charges placed on this guy. He hasn't been arrested. I think he's taking a risk playing him, but if he goes out and he plays well and he makes plays and he helps his team win, then I say let him play.
And it's unfortunate, Jimmy, because Simpson is a young guy that's starting to come on for the Bengals. And this is Akers getting us going here in Cincinnati. A beautiful day, and he just drives that one straight into the wall and out of the end zone for a quick touchback. The 49ers actually won the toss, but they elected to defer and go on defense on the road. Jimmy, do you like that call?
Well, I do. I think they're figuring on a young quarterback. They're going to try to play the field position game here early. It really is Jim Harbaugh's MO. He's going to play the game like Vince Lombardi used to play it, like it's meant to be played. I'm going to run the football. I'm going to play good defense. I'm going to stop the run. I'm going to play the field position game, and here we go.
First down, first pass, that's Dalton. And Dalton hooks up with Andre Caldwell. And we talked in the open about how impressive Andy Dalton has been, the rookie out of TCU. 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and a 105.7 quarterback rating.
They've said that Clint Bowling is the guy on their offensive line that struggled, the rookie. You know, they're starting 3 rookies on this offense, Ronnie, and that's difficult to do without an off-season to get work in.
They'll put it on the ground. That's the run game, and that will be Cedric Benson. Benson pounding inside, and he'll get 4. On the flip side, the 49ers defense, Big Isaac Safaga will anchor that 3-4 nose tackle spot. And then you've got the 4 linebackers, Patrick Willis, the Pro Bowler. He will make a lot of plays. Welcome back to Sean Goldson. He's been out the last 2 games. Will offer some much-needed help in that pass defense area that stung the 49ers late in the game against the Cowboys. 2nd and 5. Another hookup and another completion to Andre Caldwell. Willis on the tackle.
One thing you're going to see, Ronnie, with Andy Dalton today is poise. You know, this guy, I said it in the open, he doesn't present himself as a rookie quarterback would starting his 3rd game. He's calm under pressure. He has a great feel for their offense. Jay Gruden has done, the offensive coordinator has done a tremendous job of modeling this defense around the skill set that Andy possesses.
Pickup of 7 on the play. Single back set. Back to the ground game. Not much for Benson. Call it 2.
The other thing that's going to help him is balance. When you're a young quarterback and you've got a team that can run the football as well as Cincinnati can run the football, then that helps you because it takes some pressure off of you. You don't have to make every throw. You don't have to make every play. You've got some guys behind you and around you that you can get the ball to, and they can make plays for you.
Dalton looking at a 2nd down and 8 as you look at his numbers. Pressure, throws, another hookup. 3 passes already for Caldwell, and Caldwell moves the chains. That one good for 14.
I think that's just a real indicator there of the poise because he's under pressure. He's got somebody in his face. There's a rush, beat inside. but he stands in there and he delivers a nice ball right down the middle of the field. Very good balance so far out of Cincinnati. 2 runs, 3 passes, and all very successful plays for him.
Dalton, the 3rd leading passer in the AFC behind some pretty good names. Tom Brady and Ryan Fitzpatrick up in Buffalo. Seam throw, it's there. And the 49ers having trouble early against the pass. That's A.J. Green, the team's leading receiver.
Dalton just seems to have, in this first drive, real command of what they're doing. And typically in a West Coast system, and this is a modified West Coast system, they'll do a first 15. So he understands and he knows what they're going to do, what their plan of attack is here early. He probably has a good sense of what types of defense he's going to see, and so he's able to make those good, quick decisions.
Jerome Simpson checking in the game. They go back to the ground game, and Benson will get some tough yards inside after the pickup of 18 yards on the pass play.
We talked early about Jerome Simpson and him playing, and one thing that I didn't mention is this, is the Cincinnati Bengals have done their homework. They've talked to the league. They've talked to law enforcement. I'm sure that they talked to the leaders on their football team and they said, what should we do with this guy? He hasn't been charged. He's a part of our team. Let's support him right now.
2nd and 4th throw inside the 10-yard line. That's the former Packer Donald Lee. He took a shot, but he held on. And that's another Bengals first down. 1st and goal.
Good solid drive so far here for the Bengals. And as you can see, they're getting the ball out of Andy Dalton's hands quickly. They anticipate, because he's a young quarterback, that San Francisco will come with pressure. So they're giving him 3-step drops, quick 5-step drops, things where he can get rid of the ball quickly and on time.
Benson looking downhill, stumbles forward to about the 2. Ahmad Brooks was able to just trip him up, a pickup of 4. 2nd and goal. So if you've just joined us, so far a textbook drive by the rookie Andy Dalton. This drive started at the 20-yard line. Gresham in motion. Benson stops his feet. That's never good. Great defense by the 49ers. Navarro Bowman, Ahmad Brooks, both there along with McDonald. A loss of 3.
Ronnie talked about Benson stopping his feet in the backfield. It's because of great penetration along the left side by McDonald. This forces him to make a cut before he's ready to make a cut. This is a downhill runner. This is a guy that wants to go north and south. When you get penetration in the backfield and you make him bounce side to side, then you've got an advantage defensively, especially when you're a fast defense like San Francisco is.
11th play of the drive, 3rd and goal. Dalton, here comes Brooks. Gets it off, and it's incomplete. Nearly intercepted, then nearly caught by Simpson. It'll be 4th down.
I'm sure that Jay Gruden will sit down with Andy Dalton on the bench here and talk about that throw there. He's scrambling out to his left. He's under pressure. He throws it into double coverage in the end zone. And really, when you're playing an offense like San Francisco, now we're talking about Cincinnati's offense, but you're playing an offense like San Francisco that doesn't put a lot of points up on the board. Points are a premium, so these threes matter.
Nugent, 22 yards out. He gives a little shoulder twist and pops it through. So the Bengals can't put up 6, but they'll take the 3, and a nice opening drive by the rookie.
Well, here's a shot of offensive coordinator Jay Gruden talking to Andy Dalton. What I was saying before the break is that points are going to be a premium in this game when you're talking about a San Francisco offense that doesn't score a lot, and so you need to be protective of the ball in the red zone. That was not a good throw by Andy Dalton there. He should have said, hey, I'm going to throw it away, and I'm going to take my 3 and put it in my defense's hands.
Ginn Jr., the Ohio State product, from 9 yards deep. He's feeling good. He's back in the home state, but the coverage is solid by the Bengals. Alex Smith and a new offense for the 49ers coming up. 3-zip game early here in Cincinnati. The Bengals with the nice drive, 12 plays, 76 yards. As you look at Jim Harbaugh, his first year as NFL head coach of the 49ers. A lot of success at Stanford University. First play, play action. And a clean throw and a catch. That's Bruce Miller, the backup tight end. And a look at the 49ers up front. Alex Smith is showing that confidence, that air. He's kind of got that swagger when he walks into the meeting room and talks. They haven't been able to get Frank Gore going, and that's key.
They need to get Frank Gore going. They've got two excellent tight ends in Delaney Walker and Vernon Davis, but really this offense, for it to be effective, needs number 21 running between the tackles.
That's a pickup of 11 from the last play. Bengals showing 8 men in the box. Pressure, sack. A marker goes down. Chris Cocker is there, along with Fanene. But let's check in with Jerome Boger, and that's going against the 49ers.
Holding, offense, number 62. That penalty is declined. Second down.
Shiloh Rachel.
This is a quick 3-step drop. Alex wants to get it out of his hand quickly, but there's good coverage over on the right side by his old nemesis, Nate Clements, who he played with for a long, long time. The pressure gets to him.
A loss of 5. Second and long. Still holding the ball. The second throw outside. Did they call it complete? No. Intended again for Bruce Miller, but Miller ran out of real estate. Manny Lawson, another 49er, on the coverage. And a look at the Bengals defense. Fanene, Pecco inside. They will have a lot of pressure. Ray Maualuga has moved from outside to inside. He's struggling a little bit, but he can make a lot of plays. And we already mentioned the former 49er, Nate Clements. He's been involved early. 3rd and 15. Man-to-man coverage, a safety high. Trying to throw the screen. It never developed. Pressure by the Bengals defense.
Ron, this is a defense that doesn't have a lot of big-name guys, but they play well together. And Mike Zimmer, probably one of the more underrated defensive coordinators in the National Football League, just has a really good feel for what his group can do. And he talked to us yesterday about maybe having too much volume last week, and his guys weren't able to play fast. And he cut it down a little bit this week so his guys could just cut it loose and play with energy and speed.
Brandon Tate takes a shot, somehow keeps on going. He's still going. Tate, with his own human highlight film, was able to shake off a missed tackle there by Chris Culliver. He turns a 51-yard punt into a 4-yard gain somehow, but pressure early by the Bengals defense. All passes on that last drive, the first drive by the 49ers, when we talked about getting the run game going.
Well, yeah, that's not the formula that the 49ers want to subscribe to. 4 passes, it creates a 3rd and long, and they don't convert. They'll run the ball as this game gets going.
And the Bengals open up with the run for about 3. That's Benson. The 49ers, very solid up front in just 2 games. #1 rush defense in the NFL, giving up about 54 yards per game. And that's all done and designed by defensive coordinator Vic Fangio.
Vic Fangio is a very creative mind, and his emphasis will certainly be on stopping the run on early downs so that he can use that creative mind on 3rd down to pressure the passer.
The 2nd and 7. Gun formation, quick throw, Caldwell. He's been hot early, and Caldwell looks to stretch for 1st down. A quick game break out to Los Angeles. Here's Kurt Menefee.
Well, the Houston Texans trying to go to 3-0 for the first time in franchise history. Visiting New Orleans today, they take the opening drive down the field. Matt Schaub and Owen Daniels hook up to make it 7-0 Texans. It's still early. Ron and Jim.
The Saints wearing those throwback uniforms. Reminds me of my days back there when I was coaching them.
Yeah. Ron Pitts, Jim Moore. First quarter here in Cincinnati, 3-zip Bengals. They had a nice first drive. They've been content to put the ball on the ground here, but they started off throwing. That's Navarro Bowman. And Andy Dalton, he's been special already in just 2 games.
He really has, and we talked about this in the opener. The traits that you're looking for when you run a West Coast style of offense, which is Cincinnati does, a little bit modified. You want a guy that's an excellent decision maker, that throws with accuracy, that has mobility in the pocket. That doesn't mean he has to be a great runner, but he can extend plays, and a guy that is a very good leader. Arm strength, you can live with okay arm strength.
It's interesting. I'm sure a lot of people aren't aware of that. And there's your decision making. Sometimes it's good to throw the darn thing into the stands. Pressure there by Aldon Smith.
Right, and you know, people say, well, that's not a good throw, that's an incomplete. That is a good decision right there to get rid of the ball, not take the sack. Now, they're still 3rd and 9.5, 10. I mean, this is a tough down for him, but it's not 3rd and 15, it's not 3rd and 16. To me, that shows decision making, but it also shows poise and an understanding of the game.
Caldwell has been hot early. The first 2 games, 3 receptions. Today, he's already got 4.
This is a situation here where Vic Fangio likes to bring pressure, and he'll give you multiple fronts, and here comes pressure.
They pick it up, the throw, looking for Caldwell. Well covered there by Carlos Rogers, and that'll bring on the punt team for Cincinnati.
It's important here today for the Cincinnati Bengal offense that they stay out of a lot of 3rd and long situations. With a young quarterback, if you allow yourself to get in those 3rd and longs against a defensive coordinator like Vic Fangio, who is very creative, then he's going to create some natural confusion, some things that you just haven't seen in your young career.
Hubert, standing at his 25, will punt it away to Ginn Jr. The native of Cleveland, Ohio, will take it at the 11. Makes a move. Needs one more move. 2 flags are down as Ginn is out of bounds at about the 25-yard line. Here comes Jerome Bogert with the call.
During the return, illegal block in the back, number 29 of the return team. 10-yard penalty. San Francisco keeps the ball. First down.
That's Chris Culliver, the cornerback. 3-0 game here in Cincinnati. We'll be back. Well, we talked about it earlier, Jim. The 49ers coming out the first series, throw, and not running the ball. Do you think they'll get to it here?
Well, I think they're determined to run the football, and I think they should be determined to run the football. It's the strength of their offensive personality. They brought an extra offensive lineman in here. We'll see.
Adam Snyder checks in. Davis across the formation. There it is. There's your run. Gore trying to get out of there. Nice effort there. He'll pick up at least 3. Well, actually, they'll call it 5.
And that's a good downhill run between the tackles for Frank Gore, and that's what he does best. Is he puts his shoulders north and south, and he runs between the tackles hard. This isn't a guy that you want to try to toss the ball to out on the edge. He's best when he's going straight out of defense. You're backed up here. You've got a great runner like Frank Gore. I like the call to just give it to him running straight ahead.
The throw outside, and it's complete. That's Joshua Morgan. And Morgan very close to the first down marker. And it is a first down.
You know, we keep talking about San Francisco establishing a run game, and they will establish a run game, but Cincinnati's playing a lot of 8 men in the box. They're bringing a safety up to try to defend the run, and so in order to soften them up defensively, they've got to take some shots to the outside and have success like they did there.
Snyder still in the tight end position, a heavy package, so to speak, for San Francisco, and that's wide open on the wheel route. That's Vernon Davis. Davis, with only 2 catches in the loss last week to Dallas, came out of the backfield and then wheeled right up the sideline for a 22-yard gain in a first.
If you watch Vernon Davis here, what Ronnie's talking about is he fakes like he's going to the flat, and then he turns it up. The defender, Chris Crocker, puts his eyes back into the backfield, and Alex Smith lays it in there beautifully for him. Vernon Davis is such an explosive player and such a tough matchup for defenses because he's big and physical, tough to cover with a defensive back, and fast, so tough to cover with a linebacker.
Kendall Hunter, number 32, checks in. He led the preseason in rushing. And he'll get the call. Hit immediately, gets about 2. Out to Los Angeles. Kurt Menefee standing by with an update.
Well, the Giants get on the scoreboard first against the Eagles after a Michael Vick tip pass ended up in an interception. The Giants take advantage. Eli Manning, Brandon Jacobs. 40 yards later, it's good for a 7-0 lead. Giants on top in Philly. Ron and Jim.
Good one there in the NFC East. All the talk all week long. Would Michael Vick play in that one? Pickup of 2, 2nd and 8. Gore trying backside, not there. Bengals defense all over it, but he manages to scratch out 3. Geno Atkins on the initial hit.
And that's okay, because now they've created a 3rd and manageable. They're 3rd and about 5.5, maybe 6. And this is a situation that they'd like to put themselves in on 3rd down rather than the 3rd and longs like they had the first series. You look at the play selection, we say emphasize the run, but I'll go back and say it again. They need to throw the ball. They need to throw it outside to soften up this Cincinnati run defense, and then later in the game come and pound them a little bit.
Movement early. May have been on the left side there. Looked like Joe Staley stepped back a fraction early.
False start. Offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
You know,
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I was just going to say, coaches in this league are stubborn only to a point.
Right.
And, you know, it is a cliche that, you know, take what the defense gives you. But that's just being smart. You know, if they're bringing 8 men into the box and they're going to have success stopping the run, then you have to have enough confidence in your passing game and your quarterback to make good decisions to throw it outside. And when you watch this pass game so far, everything's quick. They're getting it out of Alex Smith's hands quickly.
Pressure. Smith still alive. Throws and skips it in incomplete. Intended for Crabtree, who's been in and out of the lineup with injuries. He can't grab the handle, and they'll have to punt it away.
Ronnie, there's some quarterbacks that were on the move in the pocket when they're stepping up. You know, they're good. You think about an Aaron Rodgers, a guy who can make really good throws, accurate throws, good decisions when he's on the move. At this point in Alex Smith's career, he's not necessarily one of those guys in the pocket. Now, when you get him on the edge in bootlegs out of the pocket, then he's better. But stepping up into the pocket, not quite as good.
Andy Lee, who leads the NFL with a 57-yard average, shanks that one off the side of his foot, and it doesn't get past the Bengals 30.
And look at the emotion that punter Andy Lee shows after shanking that punt. Ronnie, I like it. I like seeing a punter get jacked up. It shows me that the standards for this team have risen.
14 yards on that punt that did not rise by Lee. But a guy's been very solid. Play action. Backdoor throw. Nearly intercepted there by Paris Harrelson. I'm sure Harrelson is wondering, wait a minute now.
Well,
I can catch those.
The Bengals lucked out on a couple of fronts. First of all, safety Medeo Williams came free off the edge and fell down. And second of all, we had a dropped interception.
Clint Bowling is out at the guard position. Mike McGlynn, just picked up on waivers from the Eagles, is in his spot. We'll try to get an injury update there if that's the case on Bowling. There's a hit there by Isaac Sapuaga on Benson. A pickup of 3.
Very stout San Francisco run defense, as we've mentioned multiple times. It's always been a really good front seven. Their issues right now are in the secondary, just solidifying guys, playing together, and that comes with time.
Bunch formation, 3rd and 7. Oh, and a mental error there. A.J. Green took off.
Start. Offense, number 18. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
A.J. Green, the number 4 overall pick this year out of Georgia, doesn't focus.
It's just a rookie mistake. He's anxious. He's anxious to get going. He had a big game last week. He's caught one skinny post. He said, give me the ball. I got to get going.
What'd you say? He caught one skinny post? 10 catches last week against Denver. Skinny post will get you excited like that. 3rd and 12, and that is the end of the first quarter. 3-0 Bengals. Fox NFL Sunday will continue live from Cincinnati after these messages. We start the second quarter here in Cincinnati. Ron Pitts, Jim Moore, Jennifer Hale down on the sideline. Nice opening drive by Dalton, 12-play drive. Only able to get 3 points out of it. But the 49ers on the flip side have not been able to run the ball, and constant pressure has been applied to Alex Smith. 3rd and 12. Pump fake, plenty of time, nobody to throw the ball to. Caldwell has been his hot guy, but he's well short of the first down.
You know, sometimes it's okay to punt. We've talked a lot about this guy's decision making, and that's another good decision. Every play is not going to be a successful play, especially when you're a young guy in this league. When your defense is playing well, you don't force things. You punt the ball and you put them back out there.
Huber punting away to Ted Ginn Jr. Early fair catch. Ginn Jr. at the 11-yard line. Ron Pitts along with Jim Moore. You talk about the run. They didn't listen to you. Frank Gore not involved.
Well, not yet. I assume that he will get involved. For them to have success, he needs to get involved. And I know that they want to make an emphasis on running the football. But like I've said multiple times, Cincinnati's doing a nice job of moving an 8th guy up into the box and defending the run. But I still think that what you'll see with Jim Harbaugh is a little bit of stubbornness, a little bit of, hey, you know what, bring 8 up, we're going to run it anyhow. And they need to do that, Ronnie.
So the 49ers will take over, ball at the 12-yard line. Two tight end package. Here's the throw up the sideline. And Davis drops it. You won't see that very often. Time for a game break. Let's go out to Los Angeles and Kurt Menefee.
Well, Giant receiver Victor Cruz had 2 catches for 17 yards in 2 years. Beats all of that on 1 play. 74 yards on the reception from Eli Manning and a touchdown and a couple of broken tackles along the way. 14-0 Giants with the lead in Philly late in the first. Ron and Jim.
So some bad tackling there as the Giants get on top of the Eagles early. And play is stopped on 2nd and 10.
First charge, timeout, San Francisco.
49er offense looking a bit disjointed. We'll be back. So a timeout. 49ers trying to get it together. Backed up. Ball at about the 12-yard line. Shiloh Rachel is out. Adam Snyder in. This time Davis holds on, but gets hit hard. Gang tackled by the Bengals. Maualuga along with Howard leading the charge.
Vernon Davis went in this week and had a talk with Coach Harbaugh about ways that he could get more involved in the offense. And Jim Harbaugh told us he didn't have a problem with that. He says, as long as it's us guys in the room, us guys on the team, and we're talking football, and we're talking about it for the right reason, which means not a selfish reason, but a team reason, I'm okay with that. Vernon Davis is really an outstanding competitor, and he just wants to help this team win.
3rd and 5, throw outside. It's a little high and didn't have a chance. Intended for Morgan, but that'll bring on the punt team for the 49ers. Leon Hall on the coverage.
That's an accuracy issue there, Ronnie. He felt the pressure, and he just let it get out of his hand a little bit high.
3 possessions, 3 punts for the 49ers. Lee, a much better punt this time out. He booms this one. That takes Tate all the way back to the 25. He dances and dances just across the 35 to about the 38. 60-yard punt, 13 yards on the return. More of the rookie, Andy Dalton, coming up.
From New Jersey.
The X Factor, all new Wednesday at 8/7 Central on Fox.
When you look at Andy Dalton his first 2 weeks, the thing that jumps out at you is his passer rating of over 100%. And Dan Marino's the only one that's ever done that in NFL history. Some people like passer rating, some people don't. I think it's a measure of efficiency of the passing game, and for a rookie to do that in his first 2 games is pretty darn impressive.
83 today as he goes deep. The flag went down looking for A.J. Green. Covered well on the play, but let's check the flag.
Outside defense, number 98, lining up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
That's Paris Harrelson.
Ronnie, smart play here by Andy Dalton. Peripheral vision. He sees the flag comes in, and he knows that it's not an offensive penalty because they'd stop the play. So what's he do? He takes a shot down the field, and that's a veteran move right there.
1st and 5 give. They fake the in around. And that's Benson. Benson very close to the first down as they mix it up a little down there. You know, you talk about rookie quarterbacks with the Bengals, and I was thinking the other night, the last rookie quarterback that had this kind of start and had this kind of talk about him might have been Jeff Blake. Remember when Jeff Blake started out on fire?
I do.
He had Pickens, he's throwing the ball around.
I really like what they're doing with Andy Dalton offensively. They're keeping it simple. They're doing things that he does well. And you know, part of being a good football coach, as Jay Gruden is understanding the strengths of your players and playing to them.
Throw backside, Green going backward. Still on his feet, though. Well, he did a lot of running, maybe for 1 yard. Rodgers is all over it.
You know, there's so many egos in this league, especially offensively. Guys that want to be known as the guru, you know, the guy that created something special. But the very best coaches in this league are the guys that recognize the talents that their players possess, and they put them in a position to take advantage of those talents. And so Jay Gruden, while he's not being complex and he's not doing crazy things, he's doing things that are helping his young quarterback have success.
No gain on the play. Quick throw on the money. And that looks like Simpson. We talked about Simpson having the troubles off the field this week. A lot of people thought he would be suspended. Not the case, allowed to play and makes a first down reception there. But one thing that Marvin Lewis told us regarding Carson Palmer. Carson Palmer electing not to come in, not to report, demanding to be traded. He said, we've moved on from the Carson Palmer issue.
Yeah, he said it was never an issue in our locker room because we decided early on that he retired. He was not going to be with us. We were done with him. We were going in a different direction.
That ball nearly intercepted there. Rodgers stepped in right in front of Caldwell, who's been the go-to guy. And that was not a first down on the last reception there by Simpson. He came up a little short, and this will be 4th down.
Another thing with regards to Carson Palmer, when you've got a young team, and Cincinnati's got the 3rd youngest team in the National Football League, these guys are just worried about themselves. Hey, Where do I need to be? When do I need to be there? Where do I line up? What do I do? What do I say? They don't have time to worry about other issues, and so I think that plays to their advantage.
Hubert looking to kill this one inside the 10, can't quite do it. Again, calls for the fair catch on the 34-yard punt. Still 3-0 game. 3-0 game. Field position is the key now for San Francisco. They've been backed up the last 2 drives, not able to get out of the hole, and the Bengals defense feeding off of it.
Field position here has been a real factor for the San Francisco 49er offense. Their last 3 drives have started inside the 20-yard line. That limits your play selection. They ought to run the ball here versus the too high look.
Gore in trouble already and taken down in the backfield. Nice play. That's Frosty Rucker, 6-year man out of USC.
Once again, penetration, Ron, penetration, and you see Frank Gore, he has to stutter. When a running back has to stutter, then you've got a chance to get a tackle for a loss, especially a guy like Frank Gore who likes to hit it downhill right now.
Rucker injured on and off throughout the 2010 season. Finally paying some dividends, a loss of 3. Gore again, nope, the fake, that's Smith. Smith is hit hard. And the former 49ers says, hey, remember me? Nate Clements. But a flag goes down. And it's going against San Francisco.
Holding. Offense. Number 62. Half the distance to the goal. Replay, 2nd down.
That's Rachel.
Well, I think Jim Harbaugh's a good play caller, but I don't know if I like that play right there. If you're a run team and you've got Frank Gore in the backfield, hand it off to him. Alex Smith is not a runner. Now, maybe it was a mistake. Maybe there was a missed handoff, but I have a little problem with using Alex Smith as a runner on the edge. That is not Mike Vick right there.
I have a little problem with your quarterback getting ear hold, huh?
Yeah, and I'm sure that Jim Harbaugh does also.
Gore avoids 2. Gore with a breakout. And arguably the best run of the day thus far for Frank Gore as he's out to the 18-yard line, getting back some of the penalty yardage, a pickup of 12.
And I'm sure Jim Harbaugh is over there thinking right now, that's the guy that needs to have the ball in his hand if we want to run it. He's a good, like I've said it over and over, and I'm going to say it probably a few more times, a downhill runner. Guy puts his shoulders down and he gets the extra yards for you.
Before that run, 8 yards rushing. Now his total is 4 carries for 17. The long out on 3rd down, and they hook it up. And that's Michael Crabtree, a guy who's been in and out of the lineup, former 1st-round pick for the 49ers, coming up with a key 1st down reception. Nate Clements on the coverage.
Smith felt pressure coming from his left just by the pre-snap alignment, and he knew that he had Nate Clements over here in man-to-man coverage on Michael Crabtree, and he delivers it to him. Actually, Crabtree was in the slot there. I apologize, right here in the slot. But he knows he's got man-to-man coverage, and he takes advantage of it.
Pickup of 8. High formation run. Not much there. Maybe 1.
I'm impressed with the way Cincinnati's defensive line is getting penetration on these run plays against what's a really good offensive line for the San Francisco 49ers. There's not a lot of creases in there for Frank Gore to find right now.
Mike Zimmer, the Bengals defensive coordinator, said he's had to slow things down and simplify because of the lack of time the teams had this offseason. Pressure inside, 2nd and 9. Skipped out. Carlos Dunlap applying the heat.
You watch Carlos Dunlap coming off the edge here, unblocked, and you'll say, well, why didn't the back stand and block him? Why did not Frank Gore stand and block him? Well, this is a 5-man release. They're getting everybody into the route quickly, and it's the quarterback's responsibility to get rid of the ball quick. You hear a lot of talk about what a hot route is.
That's Jonathan Goodwin. We'll check on him when we come back. So Goodwin able to get off the field under his own power. Adam Snyder moves down inside to replace him at center. 3rd and 9. Movement early on the right side. Anthony Davis.
False start. Offense, number 76. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
If you go back to the 2nd down play, you see Dunlop coming off the edge here and the tackle Davis sliding down. You see the free release by Gore there. Alex Smith has to get rid of that ball either to Crabtree here or Gore right now, because he knows there's an unblocked player coming, and that's the quarterback's responsibility. That's called a hot read.
The ball probably should have been caught there by Crabtree. Not a comfortable ball, but the one you got to come up with. Deep zone coverage. Smith holds it and takes the sack. Fanene. He's been in the backfield a couple times today already.
Watch the right side of your screen here. It looks like there's communication errors there between Staley and Gore as to who has the pickup, and Fanene comes free. Right now, the 49er offensive line is having a little bit of trouble. They're not in rhythm. They've had false starts. They've had errors in protection. They need to get that straightened away quickly here.
A loss of 8 on the plate. The punt secured for the fair catch by Tate. Well, this October, the American League's best teams will look to their brightest stars to see which one will become the newest hero that leads them into the Fall Classic. Legends are born in October, and our exclusive coverage of the ALCS begins October 8th, right here on Fox. The Yankees, along with the Tigers and the Rangers, have already clinched their division spots. The wild card race continues to heat up. The Red Sox leading there. Tampa Bay, a game and a half behind, along with the Angels, 2.5 games behind. 7:03 to play here in the first quarter. Pressure, never saw it. And a vicious hit on the backside, Brooks. Ahmad Brooks takes the helmet off the rookie. And welcome to the NFL.
Dalton never sees it coming. Smith gets beat off the edge. And that's not fun when you're a quarterback.
A loss of 8, going deep, and it's well covered. Intended for Green. Terrell Brown's all over it.
Ronnie, I'd like to see this Cincinnati offense get back to a quicker rhythm passing game where they're getting the ball out of Dalton's hands a little quicker. Now, you can't do that all game. You can't just throw it, short, controlled passes all game. But when you're a young guy and you're backed up a little bit and you haven't had success in a couple of series, I think it's okay to slow things down a little bit, to let him get comfortable again.
3rd and 18. Deep zone look. 49ers content to let him throw it underneath, make the tackle. Jim is an old coach. That's textbook. That's first day of training camp. Throw it underneath, make a tackle. Let's get off the field.
Exactly, and it's an okay play for Cincinnati as well, not forcing the ball downfield, not taking another sack. I think Cincinnati needs to come to the sideline. They need to regroup a little bit. Just like I think San Francisco offensively needed to go to the sideline, and they need to regroup a little bit. We've got to remember that these are two young teams, new systems, new personnel, a lot to learn still early in the season, and they've got some things that they've still got to work out.
Hubert will punt it away to Ted Ginn Jr. Not a great punt. Ball somehow stays in bounds. Ginn Jr. upset. He wanted to crack at that one. Out to Los Angeles. Time for a game break. Kurt Menefee.
Is it too early to name Brady MVP again? This is his third touchdown pass of the game against Buffalo. 2 to Rob Gronkowski. They're up 21-0 for the season already. 10 touchdowns, only 1 pick for Mr. Brady. Ron and Jim?
3 teams in that division, 2-0. And Brady, boy, I don't know what kind of training he did in the offseason without the OTAs, but he has been on fire.
Ronnie, once again, the San Francisco's coming to the line, backed up inside their own 20, field position. They've got to find a way to flip the field and get the game played down in the Bengals' end.
Goodwin checks back in at center. The cutback play, Gore. But Mauluga is right there, stuffed in the hole. Excellent job of playing the cutback by Mauluga. Let's go down to the sideline and Jennifer Hale.
Guys, a couple injuries down here on the San Francisco sideline. Right now we have Dante Whitner with a hip injury. They did take him inside the locker room. He's now back out here on the sideline, standing about 10 feet from me. They say that it is not likely he'll return to this game. That is a question mark. Jonathan Goodwin going down earlier with that knee injury, but he is now back on the football field, so it looks like he's been able to shake that off. Guys?
Thank you. Safety blitz. They bring Crocker. 49ers run the opposite side for a couple. That's Gore.
I had Chris Crocker in Atlanta when I was the head coach there. You mentioned him on a blitzer. One of the best things that he does defensively is time up his blitzes, and that's an art. You've got to get a feel for the cadence. You've got to understand where you're going to hit it. You've got to understand line movement. And Chris Crocker has always been an excellent blitzer out of the defensive secondary. That was a run blitz. They were anticipating run. They were slanting the line. They brought Chris Crocker up into the line of scrimmage, and it was successful for him.
Pickup of 2. The throw, Davis. Looks as though Davis had just enough for the first down. And based on that spot, he does. Nothing like a quick peek.
Well, you know, he's in a new system. He's played a lot of years in the league, but not in this system. And, you know, sometimes you forget things. He took a quick peek, and that's why they wear those things.
Well, I thought Vernon Davis was slow to get up. As you can see, he limps off the field there. We'll try to get an update on him. Penalty flag.
False start. Offense, number 62. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Boy, and speaking of new systems, Alex Smith, since his rookie year, has gone through it. Under Mike Nolan, 4 different offensive coordinators. Under Mike Singletary, 2 offensive coordinators. Now yet 1 more.
And some pretty good names there, you know, Mike McCarthy, Norv Turner, Mike Martz. But the fact is, a lot of change for this guy. And now that he's got a head coach that sees the game the way that he sees the game, I think you're going to see a much more productive player in Alex Smith.
6th penalty of the day going against the 49ers. 1st and 15, check down throw. Not accurate, intended for Walker.
And I'm sure that there's probably right now, you know, there's been some inaccurate throws. There's been some pressure on the quarterback. There might be some frustrated San Francisco 49er fans watching us right now. But you and I had a chance yesterday to sit down with Alex Smith, as we've had a chance to do many times in the past. And this guy's different. He's a lot different than he was before. He's more confident. He's more comfortable. He's got the confidence of his coaching staff and his fellow players.
2nd and 15 draw. Gore through. And Gore close to the 30-yard line. Mauluga on the tackle. And you touched on this earlier. Smith said, you know, it was just nice to have a coach who understands the position.
Yeah, I love the fact that in the offseason, before the lockout, here's a free agent, Alex Smith, who doesn't even know if he's coming back to the team. Jim Harbaugh brings him in. They watch film together. He said, heck, we even went out on the field every day and threw the football around. And that's nice for a quarterback to have.
Smith needs to throw it around here. Checks it down. Now Hunter has to get busy, and he does for a 49er first down. Taken down by Lawson, but Hunter puts his head down, drives through for the first.
And it's a function of protection. quarterbacks need protection. They need their offensive line to protect them. They need their coach to protect them with proper calls. And I think that Jim Harbaugh does a really good job of protecting Alex Smith, not extending him too much, letting him do the things that he does well. And the result is what looks to be the start of maybe a successful drive here.
2-minute warning coming up, and it may get him right here. It does. So the best drive of the day for the 49ers. Ball close to the 40-yard line. Started with a hit to the head. Alex told us he likes to take that first shot in the game. He's played pretty well since. Two timeouts for the 49ers. We are under the 2-minute warning. Both teams, the last 9 possessions, 9 punts. There have been no turnovers in the game thus far. Quick throw, he had to wait on it. Sails it, a great catch by Crabtree, and Crabtree will be out of bounds and about 2 yards shy of the first down. Crocker on the coverage, but what an outstanding play, a pickup of 8.
Crabtree just goes up high and catches it. We looked at Crabtree when he was coming out in the draft when I was with Seattle, and the thing that was so impressive about him physically was the length of his arms and the size of his hands and the way he was able to elevate and catch a football. And you saw all of those things right there, because that wasn't a greatly thrown football.
Second and 2. Just a little late. Good coverage there. Coming up fast and hard was Nate Clements. Intended for Joshua Morgan. The home opener for the Cincinnati Bengals. They split 1-1. Big win down in Cleveland in the opener. And a tough loss out in Denver last week. 3rd and 2 run, Gore, and the Bengals were waiting on that one. I believe he lost on that play. Big Pat Sims plugs up the middle.
Looks to me like Cincinnati was waiting on that one. You know, Mike Zimmer talked on Saturday about some tendencies that he discovered in the San Francisco offense, and that might have been one of them right there. 3rd and 2 run in a 2-minute situation, just trying to move the stick so they can get the clock going again and keep the offense on the field. Good stop by Cincinnati.
That's a loss of 1. Andy Lee on to punt it away. He dropped that thing backwards, trying to kill it. And there's the fair catch at the 14. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee to see what he's got coming up at the half.
I'm outside of the Fox Network Center here in Los Angeles, but I'll be back inside for the Visa halftime report, where we'll have all the scores and highlights from a busy Week 3, including Buffalo at 2-0. Can they actually give New England a run for their money? We'll have fantasy stats for you as well, all coming up on the Visa halftime.
Hey, and another thing coming up after the games here on Fox, the first games, we've got a big one. The Chicago Bears, the Green Bay Packers in a rematch of the NFC Championship game. They've been talking about that one all week. That's America's game of the week. Coming up after this game. 1 minute to play, 3 timeouts for the Bengals. They switch it up a bit. That's Bernard Scott, and the Boo Birds come out here in Cincinnati as he picks up 2.
Well, they can boo him, but you could tell right after the 3rd down stop defensively that this was going to be their strategy, because typically when you stop a team on 3rd down, you're going to call timeout. And Cincinnati did not call timeout. They knew they weren't going to have good field position. They know that they have a rookie quarterback, and so they're going to play it close to the vest, and I think that's smart. There's no reason to give San Francisco any momentum right now.
The Bengals with a great first drive, went 12 plays all the way down the field. The drive stalled. They had to settle for 3 points. They haven't had that kind of drive since. Scott almost lost the ball. They'll get the first, but it won't really matter because time will run out as you hear the boos here in Cincinnati.
You know, like I said, Ronnie, rookie quarterback, backed up, 3-point lead at home. I'm fine with that decision.
That's the end of the first half. We'll be back after. Don't forget to follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. Ron Pitts, Jim Mora, 3-0 game. 49ers in a hole. Finally got out of it here right before the half, but still not able to run the ball quite as efficiently as I think they would like to.
No, and I think if you're sitting at home, you might say, why aren't they taking more shots down the field to loosen things up? I'm not sure that's something that they're capable of right now. Eventually they will be. The strength of their offense is Frank Gore, it's Davis, it's Crabtree, and it's Delaney Walker. And what I think they need to do is run the football and feature those inside receivers.
Nugent with the kick, bobbled, and very wisely staying in the end zone is Ginn Jr. Down to the third member of our crew, Jennifer Hale.
Well, guys, coming into halftime, Coach Mora told me, Coach Harbaugh told me the conversation he was going to have with Alex Smith was how to get this 49er offense going. He wants to see more protection out of that offensive line and got to watch those pre-snap penalties. Now, for the Bengals, Coach Marvin Lewis says he's really not at all surprised to see where this game is at right now. He expected it to be a physical defensive struggle. He's happy where his team's field position is. He just wants to see him finish and punch it into the end zone. Guys?
That's right, Jennifer, and you're right, the coach up here, Coach Mora, did have some thoughts or two. First and 10 pass, check down throw. They started off the game throwing to Bruce Miller, and they start off the second half in Miller with a nice gain there on the first down reception. A quick look at the first half numbers.
Well, not real impressive numbers offensively. You like those if you're a defensive coordinator, which I was, so I do like them.
Right.
But, you know, you look at the run-pass ratio for San Francisco in the first half, and it was 19 dropbacks to pass and only 9 runs, and that's reverse of what they'd like.
Frank Gore with 31 yards rushing on the day. Started off very slow, had 8 yards rushing for almost a quarter and a half before he kicked it up a little bit. That's Gore inside. Looks to be just shy of the first down. So first third down of the half for the 49ers. Third and very, very short.
This is what San Francisco wants and needs, Ron. They need to stay out of third and long. They need to get into third and short, third and manageable, so they can get the ball out of the quarterback's hand quickly, avoid the pressure, or they can run the football, which once again will be the strength of this team as they get going.
Big Isaac Safuaga at fullback. He's a defensive tackle leading the way, and that's an easy first down for Gore. Malaluga on the hit, but Gore picks up the 3 he needs.
I don't know if Frank Gore would say that was easy when he just had to run into Malaluga.
Yeah, right.
You play in the NFL. You know what those hits feel like. We can't appreciate them up here, but boy, there's some vicious play going on down there.
And Malaluga now getting a taste of that inside action. Dahani Jones is gone. He's had to move from outside to inside. He came in the meeting room the other day. We said, how's it going? He said, I'm not sure if I can play in this league. Things are, my head's spinning.
Well, he can play in this league. He's a fine football player.
Bootleg, a missed tackle, a throw, and caught twice there by Delaney Walker. Pressure on the outside there by the Bengals. As you see, Fanene very slow to get up, but a nice ad-lib there by Alex Smith.
Yeah, you know, we talked about him not being the most mobile, athletic quarterback, but he did show it some mobility there, evading the rush there and making a nice throw down the middle.
Fanene with 2 sacks, slow to get up. We'll check on him when we come back. Fanene had the pressure on the play. The 7th-year man out of Utah, 7th-round pick in 05. Looks to be moving around under his own power, so that's a good sign. Second down and 1. Walker setting up. fullback dive. Fumble. Ball is loose. Bengals say they have it. Here comes the mad scrum. A lot of things going on underneath that pile right now.
Some things we can't really talk about, Ronnie. They're not being nice to each other down there. Let's put it that way.
Oh, look at this. I think every official on the field is in this pile. Ball fumbled by Bruce Miller, who's been active today. That's the rookie 7th-round pick out of Central Florida. And Boger says 49er ball.
You can see Bruce Miller here on the little fullback dive or fullback belly play, as they call it. It's right here. As he gets there and struggles for the extra yards, he's running into Delaney Walker, and the ball just pops out. The 49ers really dodge a bullet here, because this is a game, Ronnie, the way the scoring's gone so far, it's going to be tight. And to turn it over in your own territory, especially when you've been a team that's been so good thus far this year, taking care of the football, that would not be good.
Manny Lawson's shaken up on the play, former 49er. He gets escorted off the field. So with the fumble and the recovery by the 49ers, it's enough for the first down. Delaney Walker will get credit for the recovery. As you mentioned, Jimmy, that's a huge bullet now. That's about to be a turnover in what's already a stagnant game scoring-wise, really for both teams in your own territory. Bengals sneaking up 8 men, expecting run, and they get run. Right there in the hole. Reggie Nelson along with Domata Peko.
You know, Ron, both of these teams are good up front offensively. And I've been very impressed with both sides of the ball in terms of their, both teams in terms of their defensive line play. Very, very solid, very stout. We knew coming in that the strength of the 49er defense was their front seven. I've been really impressed with what Cincinnati's been able to do against the run today as well.
Kendall Hunter checks in at the tailback spot. Crabtree at the bottom of your screen.
Here comes Nelson.
Pressure. No place for Smith to go. Lawson along with Nelson. A penalty flag is down. Hold on for a second.
Outside defense, number 92 in the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty, second down.
That's Frosty Rucker in the neutral zone. Well, that's got to be one that
well, there's
makes
really
you
no
mad,
excuse for that, Ronnie. That makes me mad. Your defensive lineman here, you can see the ball, and all you've got to do is make sure that your hat is on the correct side of the football. Unfortunately, sometimes in this league, the officials are a little inconsistent in how they call that. And as a defensive lineman, you're taught to take as much as the ball as you can. He didn't get away with it that time.
Only the second penalty today against the Bengals. Gore looking for the corner. Nothing doing. Nice scrape down the line by Thomas Howard, the team's leading tackler. Just brought in free agency from the Oakland Raiders. A loss of 1.
Ronnie, I just used the term for a defensive lineman, take as much of the ball as you can. And that means crowd the line of scrimmage. That means get your nose right up to the tip of the neutral zone. The neutral zone is the area from tip to tip of the football. Defensive coaches stress that all the time. That's the neutral zone right there where the ball is. And you're going to see these guys trying to squeeze the line of scrimmage, press the line of scrimmage, take the line of scrimmage.
3rd and 7, throw, and it's dropped. Crabtree had it right in his hands, and that'll bring on 4th down.
You know, Crabtree's been out. He didn't have a lot of training camp. He hasn't played a lot this season. This is a very well-thrown ball. He's wide open, and you know, when you're on the road and you're struggling a little bit to get your game going, those have to be automatic plays.
All 6 possessions by the 49ers, resulting in punts. Lee, a fair catch called at the 5, and boy, you can bet that Tate's going to hear it from the crowd, and he does. 49-yard punt. Fair catch at the 5. Boy, a key drop there by Michael Crabtree, who's had health issues really on and off since he came here in '09. The same foot that he injured in college has flared up on and off. But that one had nothing to do with the foot. That's all hands. Rolling out. Nice comeback catch there by A.J. Green. Working on Terrell Brown.
I like the way they started this half. If you go back to their first drive when they had success, Andy Dalton was getting the ball out of his hand quickly. You know, everything was 3-step, boom, deliver the ball. 5-step, boom, deliver the ball. Premium on protection, mixing in some run. They start the second half with a quick rollout, an easy throw, cut the field in half, and deliver it on time and accurately, and that's what he does best.
Back to the ground game go the Bengals, and they churn it out for a first down. That's Benson. Rodgers finally brings him down, a pickup of 10.
Good hard inside running here by Benson. This guy's a load. It's tough to tackle one-on-one. You've got to get a lot of hats on him. You're not going to bring him down with an arm tackle. You better put your body on him.
First and 10 pass pressure. Somehow Dalton gets it away. A very heads-up move. Ray McDonald was all in his grill.
That right there is a scary throwaway. You're going to throw the ball away, please, for me, so I don't get an ulcer as an ex-coach. Don't throw it where there are defenders. He throws this one, throw it out here. Throw it out there, throw it up into the stands, but don't throw it back into the middle of the field.
Well, big Isaac Saquaga dropping back. He had a little zone drop going. He might have got one. Empty backfield, quick throw. There's another errant throw. Checking inside, looking for Caldwell. Caldwell couldn't get any separation.
I think you went back to TCU with that play right there. That's a play that you don't see a lot in the National Football League. You'll see what we call a bubble screen where they bounce it out way out wide, but you don't often see the screen where the receiver's working back towards the ball. I think they pulled that out of the old TCU Horned Frogs playbook. Horned Toads or Horned Frogs?
Let's go Horned Frogs. Movement right at the bottom of your screen there. That'll be A.J. Green.
False start. Offense, number 18. 5-yard penalty, still third down.
These pre-snap penalties on third down are really affecting their ability to convert on third down. First of all, they haven't converted yet on third down, Cincinnati's offense, and they've had 2 pre-snap penalties. The ball's not even snapped and they have penalties. They go from 3rd and 10 to 3rd and 15. When you're a young team with a young quarterback, you just cannot make those types of errors.
You can see the Bengals struggling, not just this week, but the last 2 weeks in third down conversions. Check down well shy of the first down. That's Brian Leonard, and they'll punt it away. Jim, is that deceptive at all, that third down conversion thing? Because the first drive, you're starting to make big plays, big chunks on second down. It's not like you can't move the ball. That doesn't imply that.
Right, well, they only had 1 third down that first drive because they were so effective on first and second down. But as the game progresses, you're going to get into some situations where you've got to convert on third down. You've got to convert third and short. You've got to convert third and longs in order to keep drives alive. And if not score, at least flip the field in terms of field position. What's happened here is San Francisco's flipped the field. Once again, they've got good field position.
Get coverage of every NFL game on NFL Mobile. Call ** NFL to get NFL action right there on your phone. 42 yards on the punt, 8 yards on the return. Best starting field position of the day now for the 49ers. Bootleg wide open, Crabtree with a nice gain on first down. At least 8 yards, taken down by Maualuga.
People may wonder what we talk about when we say players are looking at the Polaroids or the still shots, and you've got a shot here of Andy Dalton, Bruce Kwiatkowski, and Jay Gruden. On every single play in a game, there's a sideline and an end zone shot taken of that play. Actually, 4 shots, pre-snap and about 3 seconds into the play. And what they're doing is they're going back and they're diagnosing the defense that they saw, how far motion extended, things like that. It's very valuable information as the game goes along. A lot of people talk about halftime adjustments. It's those pregame adjustments that help you win.
Going deep, looking for Davis, and he's got it. Great throw, great catch. They'll mark it at the 6. He beat Reggie Nelson.
There's not a lot of tight ends in the league, and let's look at the hit first, because Alex Smith stands in there and takes a heck of a shot.
Is an eligible receiver.
But look at Davis down the field. I was saying there's not a lot of guys at that position that can stretch the field the way Davis can. He's got great speed. And as you saw, there really great athleticism in order to adjust to the ball in the air, find it quickly, and make the catch with the defender draped all over him.
39 yards, but you saw there, Jim Harbaugh is hot. He had to call a timeout. They had a substitution issue, a personnel issue. And I'm sure that's one that you don't want to burn a game like this, because you may need it.
2 things here. Number 1, the accuracy of the throw by Alex Smith under pressure, and then the concentration by Vernon Davis downfield to bring that thing in.
Smith to throw, held it too long, sacked, almost lost the ball. Frosty Rucker, we've called his name a couple times today. A loss of 4.
We've talked about this Cincinnati front versus the run, but they've been equally impressive against the pass. And look at Rucker just drive Staley right back into the lap of Alex Smith.
Fake the toss, boots around the other side, no place to go yet, late throw, what a catch! Call it a touchdown. Crabtree. Wait, a late flag is down. The question is, did he step out of bounds at all? He may have stepped out of bounds, and if that's the case, he can't be the first person to come in and touch the football.
Illegal touching. Offense, number 15. The receiver stepped out of bounds, came back in bounds, and was the first to touch the pass. 5-yard penalty. Replay. 2nd down.
What a break against the 49ers as they cross into Bengal territory for the first time today.
What a great catch by Crabtree, but it doesn't matter because he stepped out of bounds. You can always tell when a receiver steps out of bounds because the official, rather than using his flag, he throws his hat. So we saw the back judge there throw his hat to the ground, and that indicated immediately that the receiver had run out of bounds. Now, because he was the first guy touching it coming back in, it was a foul.
Good explanation by the coach, Jim Moore. 2nd and goal. Check down. Miller chopped down at the 10, and that could be a late hit.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, number 58. Contact with a player who was already on the ground, half the distance to the goal, automatic, 1st down.
That's on Maualuga.
There's Crabtree right there working the back of the end zone. And you see him with his right foot, left foot, step out of bounds right there, get called by the official. Going back to that last play, what a critical penalty. We would have had a third down play here. Now they get a fresh set of downs on the 5-yard line.
Movement early. Boy, now becoming sloppy on both sides of the ball.
Wow, this, ever since San Francisco got
False
the ball
start.
down.
Offense, the entire offensive line. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
How often do you hear that, the entire offensive line? Right now it's like a festival of errors down there by both teams, and that's unfortunate because the game's getting exciting here.
4 false start penalties today by the 49ers. Crabtree at the bottom of your screen. Morgan up top. Hunter skips, drives, takes a hit at about the 6. Nelson with the tackle. A pickup of 4.
Regardless of who's carrying the football for the San Francisco 49ers, this is the strength of their team, running between the tackles. We've seen successful plays, and when you run between the tackles, a successful play doesn't have to be a 20 yards. It can be 3 or 4 hard, gritty yards like we saw there.
Smith checked down to Miller. Miller hit immediately by at least 5 Bengals.
Let's go back and look real quick. Great camera work by our Fox crew here. Crabtree on the touchdown was disallowed. Let's see if he does go out of bounds. When we slow it down here, wow, Ronnie.
Hard to see from that angle.
He was walking the tightrope right there. I'm not sure that he did go out of bounds.
There is an official along that out of bounds line, that back end line, whose job is to look at that. He threw the hat. Whatever the case, it's 3rd and goal. A 1-yard pickup. Smith, he's going to do it on his own, and he won't get there. Geno Atkins slows him.
Look at here, they release 5 into the route, so that leaves 5 in to protect versus a 4-man rush, and the 4-man rush just beats the 5 protectors. And look at the relentlessness on Atkins' part. Look at the determination, crawling on his knee walking to try to get a sack. As a defensive coach, as a football coach, you'd love to see that type of effort.
Akers has been outstanding. 23 yards out, should be easy, and it is. And that is his 300th career field goal. And it's good to tie things up here in Cincinnati. Now that was a drive that had just about everything. Penalties, touchdowns that weren't touchdowns, dropped balls, whatever you want to call it. Bottom line, we've got a tie game.
Well, San Francisco put points on the board, but in my book, that was a win for Cincinnati, given the field position they started at, and the penalties defensively, specifically the personal foul that they had to overcome to hold that team to 3 points is a win in my book.
So Brandon Tate is back deep to receive the Akers kick. A skipper, he'll take it 2 yards deep. Ooh, and he's hit hard. Larry Grant stepped into him even though he had a man on him and made the tackle. Hey, now it's time to bring in our NFL insider from all the way out in Los Angeles.
No.
Jay Glazer. Jay is not quite ready. We'll step to him in a minute, but we mentioned it earlier. Carson Palmer made the decision a long time ago not to report to camp, said he didn't want to be a part of the organization, and is asked to be traded. As at this point right now, the Bengals have not honored any of that, and they have said, go ahead and sit home. Movement. It's going to be on San Francisco.
Encroachment. Defense. Number 55. 5-yard penalty. First down.
And the bottom line is Marvin Lewis told us in the meeting the other day that we feel that Carson is very comfortable in retirement, and we are comfortable in his retirement, and we've moved on.
And they should be. And now, Andy Dalton hadn't played great today, but he's had 2 good performances coming into this game. When you watch him operate, you see a guy that shows all the signs of being a very good professional player, especially at that position, which is tough to play at this level.
Back to the ground game, and Cedric Benson. And Benson pounding through for 8 yards. All right, we'll try it again. Let's go out to Los Angeles. Our insider, there he is with the sweet green tie. Jay Glazer is ready to go. Jay, we've been talking.
Gang, how are you?
How you doing, man? We've been talking about the Carson Palmer issue here that really isn't an issue because he decided not to report. The talk has been that he would like to be traded. The team has said no, thank you. What are your thoughts on it? What have you heard?
What I'm being told is they will trade him at some point, but at Mike Brown's timeline, not Carson Palmer's timeline. And I think both sides here are right and both sides here are wrong. Carson Palmer, I think, just got sick and tired. A lot of things going on there, like it's daddy daycare. But I know Mike Brown, you're not going to win that battle with Mike Brown. You come and you say, I'm going to do it this way. He's going to say, no, you're not.
Meanwhile, we look at Andy Dalton, and Andy Dalton, as Marvin Lewis has said to us, hey, we've moved on. We're comfortable with where we're at with the rookie quarterback. Give us your thoughts on Dalton.
Well, you know, here's what Marvin Lewis had. He told me the other day that he had to convince the entire organization, Carson's really doing this. He really is moving on. And they had to go to each part of the organization, convince everybody not to dwell and pretty much sulk on it, that really this is actually happening. We have to look at Andy Dalton or somebody else to move on from Carson.
And it appears that they got the guy that they wanted in Dalton. When you talk to Marvin, they went and they saw Cam Newton, they saw Blaine Gabbert, they saw Jake Locker, they saw these guys, but this is the guy that they wanted. Is that correct, Jay?
Yeah, this is the guy they wanted. You know, they like some of the other guys, but this guy, the poise that he showed, he's pretty much unflappable, and he's a guy they wanted to pair him, obviously, with their first-round pick in that receiver, and it's a great combination so far. They're doing a great job. But again, guys, I want to go back to this. At first, I was looking and saying, hey, why would you possibly cut off Andy Dalton and Marvin Lewis's nose to spite your face by not trading Carson Palmer? Again, they're telling me they will at some point.
Jay, another issue off the field, at least last couple days, you got the Jerome Simpson thing, and Jerome Simpson allowed to play. Nothing has been handed down in terms of suspensions. No arrests were made, nothing of that sort. What do you think will happen next regarding Simpson from the team and the league?
Well, here's the reason why he was allowed to play today. Number one, there are actually doctors who are dealing with Simpson right now. Apparently he's distraught over the whole situation, and they recommended that he does play this weekend. But remember, he's not arrested. You said it. He's not arrested, so the league's not going to do anything yet until the legal system, you know, takes the correct path.
Our insider from LA.
He cost himself quite the contract.
Yes, he did. Our insider from LA, Jay Glazer. Jay, thank you very much. We appreciate your time, buddy.
All right, guys. Thank you.
All right, take care. All the inside stuff. You heard it from the man who's got it on the minute, Jay Glazer. So 3-3 here in Cincinnati. The nice punt almost killed at the 1-yard line, 59 yards. Just trickled into the end zone, and they'll spot it at the 20. Both teams not able to sustain drives. The 49ers last series out, able to get across midfield and into Bengal territory for the first time. Gore trying the right side. No yards on the play. Geno Atkins is there.
I used the term a lot early in the game about Frank Gore being a downhill runner. And when you get penetration like they were able to do here, Cincinnati up front, you get him chopping his feet and working side to side, he's not at his best. Harbaugh talked about their offensive line rolling off the ball. They've got to start rolling off the ball so Frank Gore can get headed downhill quicker.
Play action pass, no time, and they blow it dead. Dan Skuda along with Chris Carker. Credit a loss of 5 on the play.
And you'll watch Chris Crocker right here, who I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, is a very good blitzer. Does an excellent job on Gore there using his hands. Not a very good effort by Frank Gore in protection. He needs to be better than that. You know, when you're a running back, the thing you love to do is run the football, but one thing you're charged with doing is protecting the passer.
Technically a loss of 8. 5th sack on the day by the Bengals. That's the end of the 3rd quarter. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these local messages. We start the 4th quarter here in Cincinnati. A 3-3 game, 5 sacks by the Bengals defense, 6 punts for each team. Check down throw, plenty of room for Davis. Davis across the 20-yard line. Kelly Jennings in on the tackle. Well short of the first. And as you said, Jim, it's the field position game.
It sure is. And look at the middle linebacker there, Ray Muhalaga. He's lined up about 15 yards deep. He says, you know what, you're not going to get in behind me. And on 3rd and 18, that's what you want to do, especially when you're controlling field position the way they are right now.
Andy Lee running away to Brandon Tate. Not a lot of hang time on this one. There's one block, a spin, and Tate goes down at the 36-yard line. A late flag comes in as Tate bobbed and weaved, looking for some daylight. Tate brought in.
During the return, back in the back, defense, number 92, 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
That's Rucker. Tate just brought in from the Patriots on waivers. Gets a couple. 12 yards. Will be tied up game as we start the 4th quarter here in Cincinnati. Alex Smith has taken some shots, but in the last drive able to get his team down the field, or the drive prior to that, able to get his team down the field across midfield and tie the game up.
He's got a different demeanor this year than he's had in the past. And I played against this guy a lot of times and know him very well. In the past, when he was getting beat up like this, he would get anxious and he'd sulk and he'd look frustrated, and he looks calm, and I attribute that to working with Jim Harbaugh.
Dennis Rowland, the eligible tackle, checks in for the Bengals. Pump and go, it's not there. Dalton on his own, got about 5.
And look at some of the hits that Alex Smith has taken today. Some of them are scheme-oriented, some are just guys getting beat. Regardless, he's taken quite a beating. But as I mentioned, he's maintained his poise, he's maintained his composure, and I think that is a function of having a head coach who was a quarterback, who's trying to protect him, that's teaching him about all the things you need to do to be a quarterback, both on the field and on the sideline, how to present yourself to your teammates, all of those things.
2 tight end formation for the Bengals. Chopped down quickly. Nice play there by Mediu Williams. A pickup of 2. Out to Los Angeles and an update. Here's Kurt Menefee.
When you talk about big hits, Michael Vick takes this one from Jason Pierre-Paul. He's left the game to have X-rays on his right hand. He's on the sideline now. Mike Kafka at quarterback for the Eagles. They're trying to hold on 16-14 over the Giants. Ron and Jim?
Boy, Mike Vick can't stay out of the training room lately.
Well, you see the problem, don't you? He keeps getting hit in the pocket. Yeah, he needs to get out of the pocket, and I'm being facetious there. But I had this guy, and he made a lot of money getting out of the pocket.
So another appearance for Kafka. This is 3rd and 3. Quick throw. Let's see where they mark it. Gresham holds on. Looks like he's beyond the 1st down marker for a first, and he is. Patrick Willis on the tackle.
Ronnie, I was kidding about Mike getting hurt being in the pocket, but in actuality, I've coached a couple quarterbacks that like to run. Steve Young and Mike Vick, and both of those guys have said, I feel more comfortable when I'm out of the pocket because I control my environment. I can run, I can get down, I can go out of bounds, I can see people around me better than I can when I'm in the pocket. So that might be interesting for people to hear, that quarterbacks feel more comfortable when they're out in space, out on the edge.
First third down conversion of the day for the Bengals. Throw and the catch outside. That's Green. Well, this November, Fox Sports steps into the octagon with an epic heavyweight title fight. As the #1 ranked contender in the world, Junior Dos Santos squares off with the undefeated champion of the world, Cain Velasquez, in a must-see live event you can only catch on Fox. Dos Santos, Vasquez, the UFC Heavyweight Championship of the World, live November 12th on Fox. Second down and 4. There's a lane. A flag is down. Benson with a nice run, but let's check the flag. Could be coming back. Goldson got a little hot under the collar.
Holding. Offense, number 62. 10-yard penalty. Replay, second down.
And that wipes out what would have been the longest rush today for the Bengals of 12 yards.
Yep, you'll see the hole right there. You know, they'll let you get away with a lot in there, but at the point of attack, if you've got a guy and you've got your hands outside the framework of your body and you've got your claws latched on them like that and they see it, they're going to drop the flag every time.
He had the former Bengal Justin Smith. Second and 11, pressure. Intercepted out of bounds, but great pressure on the play by McDonald. Terrell Brown intercepted it, but he was well out of bounds. Third down coming up.
Once again, good pressure off the left side, the defensive left side. Once again, though, with Andy Dalton, you know, I like the thought that he's throwing it away and avoiding the sack, but once again, he's got to be careful where he throws it away. Early in the game, he threw it down the middle of the field. There, he didn't quite get it out of bounds. So maybe get rid of the ball a little bit sooner than he is.
Timeout called by Dalton. Not liking
Timeout.
something he saw on the
Cincinnati.
defense.
They're first.
Just under the 11-minute mark here in Cincinnati. 3-3 game.
Well, these numbers are not very good, to say the least, on third down. Not much production by either team, and that's why we're seeing a lot of stalled drives and not much continuation.
Dalton, no place to throw the football. Finally just chucks it up in the stands. Pressure on the play by Navarro Bowman. I got to ask you, Jimmy, how do you end up with minus yards on third down conversions?
Well, too many third and longs both sides, and that's a function of not having successful plays on first and second down, not having a successful run game going for you today. Pre-snap penalties. When you get to 3rd and 5 and you take a penalty and now it's 3rd and 10 because you have a false start. All those things result in situations that you don't want to find yourself in offensively on third down. And therefore,
Jr.
you get some bad-looking stats like that right there.
Ted Ginn Jr. finding a tough day here back in his home state. Morgan Trent hustling down. Let's check the flag.
No. Holding. Receiving team. Number 24. 10-yard penalty. San Francisco keeps the ball. First down.
So
Timeout.
along with the good play there, the 49ers will go back even further. Penalty on Dixon. So after the penalty, the 49ers backed up once again, reminiscent of the first half. Ball spotted just inside the 10-yard line. Gore with a nice run, lost the football. This could be devastating for the 49ers. Bengals football. Maualuga on the tackle. He forces it there, and Fanene recovers.
Sometimes what happens is you start to press, and you see Gore there, and he gets a little loose with the football. He gets it away from his body. Maualuga is able to get his hand in there and punch it out, and now Cincinnati needs to capitalize offensively here.
First turnover of the game by either team. And look what it results in. First down, first and goal, thanks to Benson.
Good hard inside running there, breaking tackles, securing the football. Gets his crowd going a little bit. Watch Benson here. Good hole up inside it. Goldson with a missed tackle. Rogers with a good tackle, but first down.
10 yards for Benson. They'll try it again. Got just beyond the line of scrimmage. That 10-yard run was the longest run for the Bengals on the day. Goldson in on the tackle.
Well, they're probably going to need to throw the ball to get into the end zone down here, Ronnie. You know, this is a very good run defense, and we saw Benson just spring one on him, but still, this is a good run defense. And here with the ball on the 5-yard line, you might need to spread it out, go play action, and try to throw the ball into the end zone to have success against this defense.
Second and goal. Bootleg. Gresham, ball knocked out. I don't believe he ever had possession. Great play by Patrick Willis.
Heck of a play by Patrick Willis. Watch Patrick Willis here on the coverage. And he stays home. He stays home. He doesn't go for the play action that puts him in position to be in really good coverage position on Gresham.
All right, Coach, what do you call here?
Throw the football. Spread it out and throw the football. Maybe run a quarterback draw. Hard to run a quarterback draw against a 3-man front, though. And that's what you're seeing here out of San Francisco.
Going to the corner, and it's incomplete. Intended for Simpson, well covered by Shawntae Spencer. Fourth down. Great bump.
Wow, wow. What a great job of getting his head around and looking for the football. First of all, he was patient at the line of scrimmage, got his hands on him, slid his feet out there, and then he got his head around and found the football. That's textbook bump and run play on a fade there.
Spoken like an old DB coach, if you ask me. This is Nugent to take the lead. 23 yards out. Snap off a little bit, but he puts it through. So the tie ends thanks to the turnover by Gore. The Bengals take the lead by 3. So Frank Gore, who was just awarded a contract extension in training camp, coughs it up, and it helps the Bengals break the tie. They take the lead by 3 as you look at the scoring drive. Ginn Jr., he's got a rolling start. And Ginn Jr. loses the ball, but he's down. He'll take it out past the 25-yard line. Time for an update out to Los Angeles and Kurt Menefee.
Giants receiver Victor Cruz had 2 catches in his NFL career before today at Philadelphia. He's got 2 today. Both are for touchdowns, including that strong one in double coverage. The Giants went for 2, did not get it, so they hold a 20-16 lead in the 4th quarter in Philly. Ron and Jim.
Well, they called it a payback game for that game late in the season there in New York. And thus far, it's looking like it.
As long as they don't punt it to Deshaun Jackson, they'll probably be okay.
8:57 to play, 3-point game, Bengals. Empty backfield. Quick throw, he's got his man. Morgan across the 44, first down. That's a pickup of 12. Well, Fox Animation Domination is finally here with a night of season premieres. It's complete comedy chaos with all new episodes of television's most animated night. Fox season premiere Sunday starts tonight at 8, 7 Central. Didn't you say you're a huge Family Guy guy?
Me?
Yeah.
My kids are.
Well, that's you too then.
I'm usually studying film when that's on.
Around the corner, Hunter with a breakout. Hunter across midfield and a first. Tackled by Reggie Nelson, and a 49er is down. In fact, there's 2 players down. Josh Morgan gets up, but a Bengal stays down on the ground. I can't quite make out the number. I believe that's Maaluga shaken up. There are very few things as exciting as that one. Packers Bears coming up right after this one. Vernon Davis, and Davis with a first, and he's still going. Pushed out of bounds inside the 30-yard line.
Well, he stepped out.
He stepped out,
yep,
right.
Stepped out short. But that's what you want to do now, is get this guy involved, get Vernon Davis involved. You saw that he stepped out of bounds, but you saw the athleticism, you saw the burst that this guy has when he's got the ball in his hands. We've seen him catch it short outside, short over the middle. We've seen him go deep. There's not a lot that he can't do offensively.
Walker sets up in the backfield, motions out. Smith has hit 7 in a row. Toss, Hunter. Hunter for the first. Not seeing much of Gore here. Is that because of the fumble? Hold your thought, Jim Moore. Let's go down to Jennifer Hale.
Guys, quick update on Ray Maluga. He just went into the locker room. He needed some IV treatment for muscle cramps. This heat might be getting to him just a little bit. He is expected to return.
Ronnie, as you say, where's Frank Gore? He comes back in the game. You know, they're running a little bit more outside toss stuff, and that's not necessarily what Frank Gore does best. He's a more between the tackle type runner.
Check down, and it hit Gore right in the head.
And you know what?
He wasn't ready for it.
He's having a tough day. All right, let's just be honest here. He's having a tough day. And when a guy's having a tough day, you try to find somebody else that can take a little bit off of him, and that's what they're doing offensively.
Pressure there by Fanene, who's got 2 sacks. Before that drop there, Smith had hit 7 in a row.
Gore struggled in protection. He struggled with ball security. He struggled catching the ball.
Kendall Hunter checks back in. Davis with the catch. He loses the ball, and it's recovered by San Francisco. Let's see if they mark his forward progress. He went backwards. Dan Scuda applied the wood.
He's just so hard to cover. He's so big and he's so physical that when you put a safety on him, it's a mismatch. He's so fast and he's so athletic that when you put a linebacker on him, he outruns him. And he does an excellent job of finding voids in zone defenses, and he and Alex Smith have a good chemistry.
Nate Clements wrapped him up initially, and then here comes Scuda. Scuda got a free one.
Number 68 are eligible. 68.
Big third down. Some nice pictures there of our guys down in the truck here at Fox. Gore stepping through, and he'll get the first down. A pickup of 4. He moves the chains. Leon Hall on the tackle.
That's what we call a power play. You block down, you pull the guard, you lead up through with the fullback, and that's what Frank Gore does best. When you get a guy like Gore, who's a great competitor, and he's struggling, as a coach, you say, do I keep giving him the ball or do I back it off? With a guy like Gore, you keep giving him the ball. You know, I mean, he's proven himself in this league. He's a great player. He's a great competitor. And if you stick with him, it'll pay off for you.
Frank Gore is a warrior. 8 in the box. Bengals guessing run. They get past. Wide open is Davis. Nice move. Davis inside the 10-yard line.
This is the old tight end throwback screen that Don Coryell, I'm going back a little bit, Don Coryell made famous with Kellen Winslow, the Hall of Famer.
There you go.
There's a key here when you're on defense. If you fake the ball and you roll, like watch Smith roll behind the action. He rolls behind the play action to Gore. That is your #1 tip defensively that the tight end throwback screen is coming.
And that would be Leon Hall's jockstrap down there on about the 15-yard line. Gore stopping his feet, gets it going. Boy, this Bengals defense has been stout up front against the run. No gain.
We've talked about Vernon Davis and the things that he can do offensively. 8 catches today for 114 yards. Mentioned it earlier. So hard to defend. He's so multiple in the things that he can do. Not necessarily a great blocker, but a tough matchup down the field. Runs all the routes that you want a tight end to run well. Heck, he even runs routes that you ask a wide receiver to run well.
Hunter's got a lane, touchdown, but a flag. Let's see what it is. Alex Smith is clapping. It could be against the Bengals.
Holding. Defense. Number 94. That penalty is declined. Touchdown.
Count it. Touchdown, San Francisco. Kendall Hunter. The 49ers take the lead, looking to add one more. A first career touchdown for Kendall Hunter, the man who led the NFL preseason in rushing. Akers on for the extra point. So the drive by the 49ers right down the field in crunch time, and they put it in for 7.
And if you watch Petco here, I don't know if I see it. Well, essentially it's a call that you don't see very often, but a defensive lineman is not allowed to use his hands to inhibit an offensive lineman from getting off a block and moving to the next level. And apparently that's what the officials saw.
Ten plays, 72 yards, and it's capped off by the touchdown. I think the key here, at some point, someone was going to have to score. I mean, put the ball in the end zone for 6.
Yep. 4 minutes to go in the game, a little under 4 minutes. Finally get a touchdown. It's been a good, hard-fought defensive battle, a little bit sloppy on offense, but we're up for an exciting finish. I'm excited to see what Andy Dalton does here with the game on the line.
Hunter, the 4th-round pick out of Oklahoma State, 5'7", about 2 Bills. So that'll answer any questions as to whether or not he's too small to play in the league.
Well, look at the guns, though. He's got some pipes on him there, man. You get 5'7", 200, that's like a bowling ball. That's hard to tackle.
That ball out of the end zone. Between September 15th and October 15th, the NFL and its clubs honor the contributions of their Hispanic fans, players, and communities through designed, designated games and celebrations. Fans can learn more at NFL.com/Espanol. And earlier today, the Bengals honored Fernando Aguirre, chairman and CEO of Chiquita Brands International, with the NFL Hispanic Heritage Leadership Award. Aguirre served as honorary captain and was introduced on the field prior to kickoff. And it's an interception, first time out after losing the lead. Carlos Rogers, intended for Andre Caldwell. 9 career interceptions for Rogers, and it couldn't have come at a better time.
Really a nice job there by Carlos Rogers, undercutting Caldwell. And his first interception as a 49er, working in the slot, reads the outside cut and just undercuts him beautifully. What a nice play. You see, here's the difference between the National Football League and college. In college, you don't see a lot of athletes that can make that transition that Caldwell did from inside leverage to undercutting the guy. So Dalton says, hey, I got him open, but he's got to realize the level of athletic ability that he's going to see at this level.
That was Rogers, right, making that cut. And the first interception of his career for Andy Dalton.
And they're playing a coverage where Rogers has help over the top with the safety that's sitting back there. So he's going to play underneath the route, and he just goes to the low shoulder. It's textbook. It's beautiful coverage. It gets me excited because it's a technique we used to work on. It's called transition technique. Play inside when he cuts out, go to the low shoulder, get your eyes back and intercept it. It was perfect. It was beautiful. It was artful.
And that came from a guy that you coached with for many years, defensive coordinator Vic Fangio, dialing up the right number at the right time. Toss. Hunter stepped in this game really right after the Gore fumble. He's taken it over, scored. He's been a big part of it. For a Michael Vick update, the Giants-Eagles. Let's go to Los Angeles, Kurt Menefee.
It is not good for Michael Vick. Hit by Chris Canty on this play. Broke his right hand. Done for the day. Mike Kafka now quarterback as the Eagles try and come back late against the Giants. Ryan and Tim?
Okay, if I'm going to find a silver lining, Vick is a left-handed thrower. At least he can still throw the ball technically. What do you think, Jimmy?
I think that Mike is one tough sucker, and I think you'll have a hard time keeping him off the field next week. He's suffered a concussion last week. Now he's got the broken right hand, but I tell you this about Mike. Say what you want about Mike. He is a tough man, mentally and physically.
Ron Pitts, Jim Moore. The 49ers have just taken the lead. A nice drive. Kendall Hunter put the ball in following a very nice pass reception and run by Vernon Davis. They've got the ball again thanks to a nice interception by Rogers.
Big 3rd and long here. You know, what you don't want to do now is take a sack, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him run the football, get in field position, kick a field goal, and make it a 2-score game.
End around, Davis, he got a block. He's going to need more than one. Great pursuit by the Bengals. He lost on the play. Nate Clemens is there, along with a couple others. They'll call it a loss of 2, and slow to get up there is Clemens. Clemens brought in as a free agent. Played in San Francisco the last 4 years. Originally, first-round pick back in '01 with the Buffalo Bills. Spent 6 years there. Another Ohio State Buckeye on the field today. And don't forget, America's Game of the Week coming up. The Packers and the Bears. Next.
Ronnie, one of the issues here for Cincinnati as this game winds down, whether or not this field goal is attempted and made or not, is the timeout situation. They've only got 1 left. They've burned 2. And that's a residual effect of having a young quarterback in a new offensive system. He's not completely aware. He's not completely dialed into everything that they're doing. And he had to burn a couple timeouts early in the half. You need these things now.
All right, so the good news, Clements Gets up, able to walk off. Interesting to see the amount of 49er players that walked over to make sure he was okay.
You know, Ron, these guys compete like heck out on the football field, but they respect each other. They appreciate each other. They played together. Yeah, he's a competitor today, but he's a comrade in the National Football League, and that's one thing that you see throughout the league on every team is these guys, hey, they're going to go after each other hard during the game. I mean, they are going to go after each other. They're going to try to win. They're fierce competitors, but they really respect each other, and you like to see that. I like to see that.
So for Akers, this will be 53 yards out. He hit from 53 exactly in pregame warm-up. He's got a long on the season of 55. The play clock winds down.
Timeout.
Did they call timeout?
San Francisco.
Yes, they called timeout.
This will be a 30-second timeout.
30-second timeout. They've got one left. Each team with one timeout left. A field goal, well, I should say, before this attempt, a field goal will not beat you if you're San Francisco.
Well, I'm not sure that it's going to matter right now, but that's something you don't like to see. There's an injury timeout on the field. You line up to kick a field goal, and you're missing a guy offensively, and so you've got to burn a tie down. Now, in this game, it might not matter, but if they do win this game, if the 49ers go on and win this game, I can promise you that on Monday that will be a great learning emphasis for Jim Harbaugh in his team meeting.
And the Bengals put a man back deep. It's up, it's drifting, turning, it's through and had plenty of room. So the guy that has been money all year long and this short year puts it through for points. You know what, Kurt? They said Chan Gailey didn't have a chance. They said his plan was all messed up. The defense wouldn't operate. And you know what? As usual in the NFL, everybody was wrong in the preseason.
That's why you never listen to they. Who are they? And what do they really know? I might be one of they now.
Buffalo looking to start 3-0.
A lot of people wondering if they were for real. I think they're showing that today. Now, there's still time left in that game, and they're playing New England, who can score in an instant. But just the fact that they've got this lead, a touchdown lead in the fourth quarter at home, says a lot about the way they are going under Chan Gailey.
Some tight games elsewhere around the league as well. Detroit and Minnesota locked up at 20-20. Detroit starting the season 2-0. That ball taken 9 yards deep by Tate. Tate had a nice return, but he took it so deep, doesn't even make it past to the 20. And this is the drive that put the 49ers ahead. That's Joshua Morgan. Vernon Davis had a couple nice plays as he steps out there.
They did a great job of keeping Alex Smith on the move or getting rid of the ball quick and then mixing in their running game. That's the kind of drive that Jim Harbaugh envisions for this team as the year goes on. Balanced, running the football well, throwing the ball quickly, getting it to the tight end, working the slot receiver, keeping the defense off balance.
So one timeout apiece. 2-minute warning coming up. Dalton took a hit, but he delivers. Gresham, Jermaine Gresham with a big first down reception. That was Bowman with the pressure.
Watch the pressure here, coming off your left side here. Dalton just hangs in there and delivers a really nice route on the corner route and up and out deep to Gresham. Once again, demonstrating his poise.
How about the rookie opening up with the longest pass play of the day when they need it the most? Pump fake, Gresham again. And Gresham inside 49er territory. And that will be the 2-minute warning. 17-yard reception, getting close. And he's got one timeout in his pocket. Watch the rookie work. 13-6 game. Jim Moore, start thinking about this right now. I know you have, because as a coach, you had to a lot. If you score, do you go for the tie, or do you go for the win?
Oh, you go for the tie.
Out route. Caldwell. Close to a first down. He picks up 8 in a quick game summary. Total yards for each team. Third down has been a struggle for each team.
And how about penalties for San Francisco? You talk about killing yourself. 10 penalties.
Seam throw, 2nd and 2, intercepted. Reggie Smith. And that could all but do it here in Cincinnati as the rookie looks around. But now the question is it a catch? We are under 2 minutes. From that angle, it looks like a clean catch, but we are under 2 minutes, so any review has to come from upstairs. It cannot come from the sideline.
Well, that's a catch. And it's not just a catch, it's a great catch.
The last play is under review.
I'm not sure what...
We are under review. You just heard Jerome Boger there.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Dalton was thinking with this throw, unless he was trying to put it on the back shoulder there of Gresham. But Gresham was trying to beat Willis down the middle of the field, so just miscommunication and an inaccurate throw. A lot of times when you get that coverage, Ron, what happens is if the linebacker is up high on the receiver, then you throw it to that back shoulder, tight end turns, and it's tough to defend. If the linebacker's low on the receiver in a trail position, then you throw it up high. Looked to me like Gresham thought he had it up high, and Dalton felt like he needed to throw it to the outside shoulder.
Reggie Smith, the 4th-year man out of Oklahoma. If it counts, that would be his 3rd career interception. Based on the rule as we know it, Jimmy, that's a clean catch.
Well, yeah, it is. And you have to have indisputable visual evidence, and I don't know that you can overturn it on that. To me, that just looks like a really athletic catch, getting his right hand underneath the ball.
And the call on the field, remember, is interception.
Right.
So unless you have clear visual evidence to overturn it, they stay with the call on the field.
From the angles that we have, it doesn't look like the ball ever even hit the ground.
And here comes Boger with the call.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. It is an interception. First down, San Francisco.
Boy, and with that, the air just comes completely out of the bubble here in Cincinnati as people head for the exits.
Well, Dalton will learn from this. You know, he had a good drive going there in a critical situation. He just made an errant decision, errant throw. He and Gresham have to get on the same page. He will. This guy shows a lot of promise. And the thing that hurt him today certainly were the turnovers. This is a team that's gone 2 weeks without turning the ball over. And today they turn it over twice. And in a close game like this, that's going to be a defensive battle.
Not over yet as Alex Smith calls timeout. And the Bengals sideline is screaming that they should have been flagged for lingering in the huddle, and they might get it. Maybe.
Yeah, that should
12
not
men in the
happen.
huddle. Offense.
I mean, that's an understatement.
5-yard penalty. Still first down.
And that's exactly what they get. They get lingering, meaning you can't have more than 11 men in the huddle at any one time.
Well, please explain to me how. after a review and a change of possession, you can't have the right personnel in the huddle. And since you can't explain to me, I'll explain to you, okay? There's a lot of communication that goes on. And you've got coaches over there, Tom Rathman, the running back coach, signaling the personnel group out. And you've got players that say, the game's over, and they take their hat off, and so they miss the signal. And you have to use a timeout, and really you look kind of foolish doing it.
So they keep it on the ground.
You know, it's always nice to win.
Timeout, Cincinnati.
San Francisco's going to walk out of here 2-1, and Harbaugh and his staff should be excited about that. The team should be excited about that. But there's a lot of little things that they can clean up. A lot of penalties, pre-snap penalties, the false starts, the having to burn a timeout on the field goal attempt because they only had 10 men on the field, the having to burn a timeout here in the 4-minute when they're trying to run the clock out because they have 12 men in the huddle. Actually, they got penalized for it.
Yeah, they didn't let them take the timeout.
Exactly.
Right,
so
right.
There's a lot of things that they can learn from here. But the best part of the day for San Francisco is they're going to get a win. Or apparently they're going to get a win unless we get another.
No, you're right. You're right. You don't want to close the door yet. But, yeah, with no timeouts left now. And you're looking at your down and distance on a second down. And for Dalton, started out very efficient, but he kind of melted down late. His last 5 attempts, 2 interceptions for a guy that didn't throw any leading up to this game. Of course, trying to rip the ball, that's Hunter. Hunter, who's had a very nice second half. Don't forget, coming up, America's Game of the Week, the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears, a rematch of the NFC Championship. That's coming your way next.
There's a lot of good young quarterbacks in this league right now. Last week we got a chance to see Cam Newton. Today we get a chance to see Andy Dalton. Really different styles of offense or quarterback, but both very good quarterbacks. But common denominator here is in critical times, they both made some mistakes.
Now, Jimmy, and depending on what happens on this play, the Bengals could get this ball back.
The problem is they burned those timeouts early in the second half, and now they can't stop the clock.
So the clock running, and the 49ers will take as much time off of it as they can. Take a delay of game.
Either that or call timeout with 1 second left on the clock.
Yeah.
But it's about a 10-second disparity between the play clock and the game clock. Brings up an interesting situation here and a tough decision for Harbaugh, which he's already made. He's going to punt it.
I have seen situations like this where teams, where teams will take the snap, run back, and take the safety with the time, hoping the time runs out in the process.
Yeah, this would be a time when you would consider
5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
You would consider here, Ronnie, with 8 seconds left on the clock, taking a safety. And I'm sure that they've talked about that upstairs. Looks like they're going to punt it. I would hope that they punt it out of bounds. But 8 seconds is a lot of time to take a safety.
So the timeout called.
San Francisco.
And boy, the guy that's going crazy on the sideline now for San Francisco has got to be Brad Seeley, the special teams coach, along with Jim Harbaugh, making sure everything is lined up and organized right now.
Well, here, 8 seconds is a lot of time to ask your punter to field the snap, run around in the end zone, and then step out for a safety. You've got to make sure that you've run all the time off the clock. One thing they could do is bring everybody in a tight punt, all right, so they don't have their wings out there wide, and you can hold. So you hold and you say, nobody's going to get to my punter. We're going to hold. We're going to take the flag. All right, it'll still be 4th down. They'll get penalized 10 yards. There's no time on the clock. They take a knee. Game's over. But these are all situations and scenarios, and they are in tight punt now. They changed their punt formation. But these are all scenarios that Harbaugh has worked through training camp. And there they do it.
There it is. Boy, he got a little loose with the ball, but still, it still kept 2 seconds. So they give up the safety, the 2 points. Now they'll punt it away with 2 seconds left.
This is great stuff right here, okay? This is great clock management learning right here, because you don't want to have to punt the ball. Now, have you ever heard of a fair catch kick?
Oh, yeah, they get a free kick.
Well, it wouldn't matter in this situation because they're down by a touchdown.
It wouldn't matter.
But this is interesting now. They've got to kick the ball off. They've got to punt the ball. And ideally, what I would have liked to have seen there was the offensive linemen, the protectors, grabbing and holding and not let anybody get into the backfield to pursue the punter and let him just stand back there. You take the flag, you snap it, you take a knee, the game's over. I love the stuff that the cat and mouse that goes on at the end of the game. We don't see enough of this. This is fun. This is kind of Bill Belichick type stuff.
So Brandon Tate is back deep, not Deshaun Jackson.
Well, you know, here's another thing is, do you punt it here, or with 2 seconds left, do you squib it to one of the big guys up front?
I think you squib it, make them fight for recovery.
But they've got their punter out there.
He can still, yeah, but he can
I've never
still.
seen a punter squib it.
Well,
he kicks it out of bounds, they've got 1 shot down the field. So I don't know about this. Let's see how it works out. He does squib it.
That'll bounce a while. There's the bounce you were looking for. Now here comes the laterals. Nope. Game over. The 49ers go to 2-1. They will stay on this end of the country. They'll go to Youngstown, Ohio, practice there all week, and then go to Philadelphia. That's the final here. The AT&T postgame show out in Los Angeles. Here's Kurt Menefee.